So, hello, viewers. Welcome to this wonderful Sunday morning on our KDL TV live show. Today, we are very, very, very honored to have two absolutely fantastic and brilliant women in our community and continue a conversation about the ongoing campaigns for the Mwanyagetinge leadership. But today, we're going to focus more on county representatives. So, very privileged to have today on show for the next 1 hour. Obviously, these are women who are known to the community, very vibrant. You have no idea how much I have tremendous respect for them. I want to introduce you, Edith Moronge and Neema Mora. So quickly, do you mind, if you don't mind, you two ladies, if you don't mind, I mean, just as a matter of disclosure, I have tremendous respect for the two of you for a very interesting reason. The fact that for as long as I can remember, you've been extremely active in community affairs for that. And I think the community will agree that we do appreciate what you've been doing. We may not be telling you individually, but I want you to know live here that we truly appreciate what you're doing for the community. And obviously, we're going to enjoy your insights during this discussion over the next 1 hour. So before we get into the details of the campaign, I want to ask you the same question I asked the other aspirants before you. If you ever had a chance to watch some of the discussions we had in the past, including the two presidential candidates that we had and the youngsters who were on the show a week or so ago, if you did, what was your takeaway from that? Let me start with you, Neema.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Neema Mora, and I watched most of the interviews, and I was extremely impressed with most of the candidates, both presidential and the youth. Just caught my heart. Those young people are energetic, they are intelligent, they are people that need to be motivated by us as grown-ups, as their parents, as their community, because for sure those youngsters will truly be the leaders of tomorrow if we give them a chance and don't continue pointing them downwards, calling them children. They are grown up. They are the leaders of tomorrow. We are getting old. The other candidates, both the presidential candidates, I have tremendous respect for them. And they are women of honor. They are women of strength. They are women of power. They are women who are developmentally, who have a lot of insight for our community. Both the men, I have respect for them because they have a heart for the Kisi and Gusi and Mwanyagetinge community. So with that said, I just want them to know that we are behind them. Whoever takes which position, we back them. We just want to work together, both the young, the old, the women, so that we can move our generation forward. Our generation has lagged behind because of little politics, because of sidelining certain people or certain genders. This is another generation. We are not going to go that direction anymore. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Neema. Your take, Edith.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kari, for this opportunity. Mr. Kebwato, background, thank you very much. And Neema is my sister. I work with her. It's like our brains tend to work kind of the same way, and I absolutely agree with what she just said. The interviews that have taken place the last few days have shown that the community is energized, it's ready, the youth are ready, and when you have the youth on your side, then you have a bright future. And the candidates, the presidential candidates, the secretaries, they are all capable leaders in the community, and I hope when we finally are done with the elections, that we all come together, because really this is not politics, this is the community, this is for the best interest of us as Omogusi coming together. And I am very excited about where we are right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the intro, and I think you both of you read my mind very well. And I think, like I said last night, something really, really good is happening in our community. I've been in the country for the last 20 years. I think for the first time in those 2 decades, something really, really good is happening. I think the energy in our community is fantastic. The young people are really raring to go. And obviously, with the 2 leading presidential female who are on the front line, it's massive. And the 2 of you, I can't thank you enough. There is a lot of energy in the community. So keep on. Let's get to the conversation that we engage this conversation. Obviously, some issues, some people may or may not like it, but really we need to get into the niche details of what really the community needs at this point, and as we move forward. But to begin with, I want to ask you, why are you running for these positions that you chose to do? And I want to start with you, Neema.
Thank you again for giving me this opportunity. I want to say that there is a time for everything under heaven. That being said, I have for some time been raising up my 6 children single-handedly, and that took a lot of my time. I was playing both father and mother, taking my children through education up to universities on my own. And I thought that at that particular time, my hands were full, but my heart was out there. My heart was out there. I've always been a people person. I've always wanted to be in the community, but I just wanted to do the first things first. Right now, my children are done with school. Actually, what I'm now doing is raising my grandkids, and I'm truly excited about that. So, I mean, I am out here right now, and I don't have a lot in my hands. I just want to put my heart where it has always been, in the community.
That's a very good take. I appreciate that, and I'm sure we're going to expect a lot of insights into you raising children on your own. And I think an issue that really our community really is dealing with at the moment. We'll get into that as well. So, Edith, to you as well. Why are you running for this position?
I'll tell a small little story. Sometime last year, I meet Mora. We work together. And she tells me, "Oh, Edith, do you know about Mwanyagetinge group?" I'm like, "Mwanyagetinge? No, I don't." She's like, "Oh, it's this group. It's been struggling, and the community came together. It's been in existence for a long time, but things don't seem to be going right. I think you should join us." And I was like, "Is it like small tribal group? Like, what is the agenda?" But I didn't think at that time the importance of belonging, because I'm always like, "Oh, I want all Kenyans to come together." But all Kenyans cannot come together if in our small settings we are not together. So then based on that, I joined Mwanyagetinge. And I hope that with this small community, that I will be able to be a part of taking the small community and of course liaising with the bigger communities and making our social well-being as Omogusi in Minnesota. We have the shared culture, shared values. I never really thought initially the importance of coming together as a small community. I always thought, oh, Wakenya ndo unafaa kuja pamoja, and I was always the critic, like, hapana, mimi sitaki hizi group ndogo ndogo za, like, but it is important. I have seen, ever since I joined Mwanyagetinge, what a family, in this case Mwanyagetinge as a family, has actually done for our people out here. So why am I joining? I'm joining for the love that I have for my mother, the love that I have for Omogusi. My mom was a single parent. She's Kisi from Nyaramba, Nyamira. I like to say that. And even as a family, my family recently had a tragedy, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate belonging to the Omugusi community in Minnesota. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that right now. And for that reason, I am joining this so that I believe that I'm a transparent person, and I know that based on the questions that were asked in the community as to why Mwanyagetinge was struggling, I don't want to say Mwanyagetinge has failed, because we cannot take away what Mwanyagetinge has done for the community. So the struggles that have been there, the financial transparency, the sometimes confusion of what the leadership structure is and who is leading us where, and of course, members who are investing in the community not having a say because the structures are kind of missing. Because of that, I am joining Mwanyagetinge today so that I can promote the coming together for the betterment of Omugusi in Minnesota. And of course, once we have that, then we can spread and join our brothers and sisters from Kenya and from the other parts of Africa. And of course, whoever lives in Minnesota, then we can be a better community as Omugusi. Because together, we will go far.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Clearly, we're in agreement that there's a need for unity within the community, and I think there's evidence so far with the massive registration that is taking place at the moment. That's a good indicator. And I have a feeling that in as much as we are really worried about this corona and the aftermath of George Floyd, something is happening in Minnesota, and more particularly within the Kisii community. I think maybe God is saying to us, this is a time when we need to completely transform the way we think and the way we move forward. But again, Neema, and I appreciate you for raising those wonderful children, and obviously they're going to be a continuation of our community, and so many parents are doing the same in our community. So having taken time to assess the community from a distance, and now that you're at the forefront, what are some of the deep issues that you've really seen in our community that you think we should really address?
Thank you again for giving me another opportunity. I think there are many problems that we need to address. Just like my sister Edith has said, the structure of Mwanyagetinge. Apart from that, we as a community or as a people have issues with who we are. Some of us raising children on our own and missing out on our culture, missing out on our values, missing out on who we really are. You find out that there's a lot of our own children that have children. Children are born out of wedlock. Children are born and fathers are nowhere to be seen. When these single parents are raising children alone, a lot of them miss. Their hands are so full, they don't even know which direction to take. They are overwhelmed with the responsibilities of raising up children. Then you find out we have children that are just out of total control. They talk back to parents. They raise their voices to parents. They have no respect for parents. They have no respect for elders. And as such, the community just falls apart. If I can give an example that of a group of people that I totally admire, it is the Nigerian people. I go to church and worship with them. Nigerians have a lot of respect. I'm not trying to say they are the best people in this world, but as far as respect is concerned, they truly value culture. For example, a Nigerian is not going to wear a Kenyan dress. They want to be associated with their cultural dress, their cultural values. Most Nigerian children will talk in their own vernacular. Most Nigerian children will not raise a finger to anybody older than them. They have so much respect. I am like, oh my God, where did we fall? Where did we miss? What went wrong? So I think that we need to put some values in the community and coming together as Mwanyagetinge. We can be able to put the structures together and have our elders involved, have our children involved, tell them about what our culture was and what it needs to be, so that our children can get direction, so that our children can know the values of Omogusi and how Omogusi lived and the benefits of the culture.
Very good points, and I can tell from the emotions that are associated with the wording. Really, raising children on your own I can understand that could be problematic, and I think Edith, you also agree. And one of the major problems that we have in the community, not just the Kenyan community, quite frankly, it's a major problem within the immigrant community, a situation where there's a breakdown of families and children being raised pretty much by single parents is really a major problem that we have in the community. In addition to what Neema is saying, what other issues do you think are of major concern for us in the community that need to be addressed as soon as possible, Edith?
Okay, the major that are affecting our families: education, childcare, care for the elderly in the community right now. It's a big strain on of course, our families. And I think Mwanyagetinge has an opportunity to direct our members so we can go for resources. We are taxpayers in Minnesota. Minnesota is a rich state, we know that. We have resources that can help families. The strain that comes with the just living in the US, it's the reason why some families are breaking up. It's a stressful situation for many people. But if you could take the burden away, especially childcare, and like I said, who is watching your children when you're working, and how much time are you even spending with your children? Do you work? Do you have to work like round the clock? What other resources are there so you don't have to break your back and not be with your children? Like my sister Neema said, how we raise our children is going to determine who our children become in the future. And part of the challenges we face in raising our children is really not being available as parents. And I've always said, even in my own family, that I need to be there for my kids. The sacrifices you have to make. Yes, it's a good thing to go out and work, but at the same time, am I sacrificing so much that my children are missing out on parental guidance, parental care? But I also understand the strain that most of us have living in the US, because we have US family, then we have families back home. So I understand why people may miss out in being with their kids as the kids are growing up, especially the most important ages, the early childhood. So the challenge that I know, like I said again, we are facing is childcare. And I know that one of the presidential aspirant is talking about a community center. A community center is a good thing. If we have community centers in each of our counties, wouldn't that be great? Then if you have a community center where your children are being cared for by people who with the shared values, shared culture, you don't even know what is happening to them. You know what I'm saying? So if we come together like we are trying to do, and identify the resources that can best serve us, so that we can have better families, so that our families don't have to break up like they are breaking up right now. And I'm also passionate about our children getting lost into, I'm a mental health nurse, into addiction and drug abuse. These are some of the things that we need to face as Mwanyagetinge, that our children live here and they're going to be influenced by what is surrounding them. And that if we get too busy to actually direct and guide our kids, not intentionally. Of course, if you're too busy, you're not going to realize that you're missing out on some of the things you need to do for your family. Then our children are going to get lost. And if we have, like in the structure that we have right now in Mwanyagetinge, we have the advisory council. Tukileta pamoja abangina n'abagaka, and then we utilize them to at least guide our kids, where sometimes there's always commotion between parents and kids, and sometimes you need an extra person to come in and help. Igobono, if we get to that point where we actually have structures in place, abana kereba chire into these drugs and alcohol use, how do we support them and help them so they don't completely get lost and then go into mental health issues and stuff like that? So the few things that I've mentioned that we have as challenges right now is support for family. So support for family. So resources and structures within Mwanyagetinge where we have abagaka n'abangina, so who can support our youth in coping with the challenges of living in this country. Yeah, thank you.
So both of you, I think both of you agree on, you're talking about structure, and that's a good thing. I want us to be a little bit more specific about structure. Obviously, you're not presidential candidates. You're going to be part of the board that is going to make major decisions for the organizations. When you talk about structure, yesterday, the other presidential candidate, Jared, was on the show, and he was proposing a council of elders who can be used to advise the community. And I think that's a reasonable proposal. From your end, what other specific structure should we have in place within Mwanyagetinge, quite frankly, so that we save the family, so that we don't see our children going to jail? What are the specific? And knowing also as well that for a long time, the female population has not been really actively involved in the composition. But now that we have really women who most likely might be in the office, including yourselves, what specific structures do you propose? Very quickly, Neema.
Thank you again. When it comes to that, I hope that we will actually attain this dream of having Mwanyagetinge, a social center or whatever. Have our own community center whereby we can teach values that will keep our children away from trouble. For instance, when immigrants come to this country, they have a totally different mindset. They have come from Gusii, where you can slap your wife left, right, center, where you can cane your daughter or your son, and you are not even accountable about it. If we have this structure, and when our people come from home, they are kind of introduced to this and told or informed how to keep away from trouble, we would be having the deaths we have had.
Okay.
And vice versa, or children, or rapes, or things like that, which have really put our community down. If people come here and they are, I don't know what I want to use, but they assuming we have this structure of Mwanyagetinge Community Center in order, when immigrants come, they are introduced to this culture because it's a culture shock. They are told how to keep away from trouble, how to keep away from police, not to beat their wives, not to beat their children, told that if you do this, you will end up in jail for life. These things things like corruption and stuff like that, these things will help keep families away from the trouble we have seen. If you can remember, we have had several cases of even children being raped. We have had several cases of drug abuse and stuff like that. We have several cases of death, people killing others, wife killing husband, husband killing wife and stuff like that. If these people, when immediately they come from home, they are versed with this kind of culture, we will keep away from a lot of trouble.
Edith, you want to add on that, and I think, quite frankly, I appreciate you being on. It's so painful to watch, and in fact, interesting. Even there are people watching from Kenya right now. The hope for all of us was to come to America for American dream, but unfortunately, what's happening? We seem to be killing whatever we call the American dream, right? What specific proposal would you bring to the board so that we really minimize this kind of detrimental aspect that we are having in the community?
Yes, like I was saying before, I think what is missing in most cases is people not knowing where to go to for help. So in the new office, if we have structures where our people will be told, if you have this kind of problem, this is the person you go to. It helps to know where to go to when you have a problem. So the bigger picture is, who do you go to if you have a problem? If you have a family problem, who in the community can you go to before, of course, you find yourself in bigger trouble where the state comes in, the federal comes in? You want to make sure, we want to make sure as a community, and I hope as a part of the leadership that is coming in, if I am lucky to be the representative of Dakota County, for instance, I want to make sure that our people in Dakota County know who they can go to for what problem. And if in our media, our social media, where we'll have all the group members, we will have places and contacts for resources that our community members can go to whenever they have like family problem or challenges within the family, of course, that they need to be addressed. So that's really what is probably missing right now. But if you have that kind of structure, ukikuwa na shida fulani, unajua, oh, if I go here, I'll get help, because we always need help in society. You cannot be an island. You need to lean on someone. You need to lean on someone to be able to succeed.
Good. Thank you, ladies. Let's move on to another aspect. A few years ago, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's wife was somewhere here in Minneapolis, and she said a statement that most people in the audience didn't like. What she said, every time I drive through Kisii town, a lot of Kisiis in North America send a lot of money, but there's nothing to show for in Kenya. I was looking at the number of people who have registered the organization. Yes, there's excitement in the community. I appreciate that. But so far, we are less than 1,000 of the almost 10,000 Kisiis in North America who contributed a large amount of the 7.7% that we sent to Kenya. They are all here in the state of Minnesota, which in my view, really, Minnesota should be the ground zero for all we do. Here's a question for you ladies. How do we then move going forward? How do we bring in, how do we attract new members? And more specific, I'd like you to address specifically the female population, who by all accounts, and there's evidence to support that women are doing well socially and economically. What do we do to attract them and retain them so that they're part of the conversation of Mwanyagetinge? Neema.
Thank you again. I think what we need to do is work together as a unit. What we need to do is encourage the women. As men, I'm addressing Mwanyagetinge men. I sometimes feel that the men have some kind of fear of supporting their wives or encouraging their wives or their wives being in position. I want to assure them that if you love your wife, encourage your wife, and support your wife, this woman is not going to reject that love and thinking the fear that men have, and as a result end up telling women, I know mukungu tuwende dokwana, I know mukungu gasiaone chikoni. This is what we were told all our lives, and this really kind of drew us back. We need to encourage the women. The women have performed. The women have shown that they can do things. What a man can do, a woman can do. A proper man, a real man, does not get scared of his wife. A real man supports his wife. A real man encourages his wife. For example, one of my pastors in one of the churches I went confessed that he was very bad in keeping money, or whatever word I want to use. He was not a good money keeper, but his wife was. So the wife is the one who was in charge of money in that house, and the homestead ran very well. When you realize your wife's strength, your girl's strength, you encourage, you develop that strength, you build it up, you help them be the best they can be. This is what I've told my children all the time. They need to be the best they can be, but we need these men to help us. We don't need these men to be afraid of us. We know that you are the men, and if you support us, we will truly respect you. Umusaja okugambira no musaja o coward. Umusaja to stand up and support the wife. Now, as I'm trying to encourage also the women in the community to join hands with us. That word is very derogatory. It's very demeaning. Okugambira probably can only be in your household. When we are out here in the community, we are working in it's like a workplace setting. How many men, big men, educated men, even in Mwanyagetinge, that their bosses are women, and that organization runs very well? So we are not out here. We are not going to do any of that. That you can only do it in your homestead. And if it's done in your homestead, you better know what the problem is. I guess a community, we are working together. I guess a community, we are developing each other's talents. I guess a community, it's about developing our community. It's not about Okogamberu. This is a bad word that Abagusi have all the time. No, we want to work together. I could have a better talent than you. Develop this talent and encourage me so that we can encourage. Actually, there are so many talented women out there. There are so brilliant women out here. We have lost so much. We have lost so much in our community. And we are out here as women to encourage these girls, to encourage my girls, to encourage each and every girl in each and every household to know that they can do what a man can do. I want this word to be a word of the past in the Kisi community. It's a bad word.
Okay.
Please help us nurture our talents, men. Help our children nurture their parents. Don't make our children shun away from the Kisi. Like, you know what my daughters were saying? Abagusi nabatindi mono njitindi kwa sokagusi. Abagusi bacha eta bakungu. What a shame. Now, another thing I have seen, when Kisi men marry non-Kisi women, they will not touch them. They are the best families ever. But when you have your own Kisi woman, why is this? I want every man that is in Mwanyagetinge, it is a challenge to you. How many Kisi women are in pain, have been beaten, have been killed, have been thrown out of their household because our fellow tribes are very happy. Thank you very much.
Neema is making a genuine point here. Of course, there's a lot of emotion there. Edith, I'm going to bring you on. She's making a good point. Before we move on to the next question, like I said moments ago, our mission here is to achieve the American dream. We're not here to kill the very dream that brought us here. There are many people looking up to us from Kenya who are hoping, whether you are a son or daughter or whoever, we are hoping that all of us as a people, we need to achieve the very best for us. Yes, there are women who really feel they're being mistreated. There are also men, honestly, who also are feeling really, really mistreated in their homes. So, and what we're trying to do and hoping that the next administration in Mwanyagetinge does is to have a good balance and a very objective view of things. Edith, to you, how do we strike a balance between what the needs for the men are and the female?
That's where togetherness comes in. When you see me as a man in the community trying to do something, don't see a woman. I want you to see someone who is like a partner. We are going to partner together, men and women, shared values to move our community forward for our socioeconomic empowerment. And I understand Neema is very passionate about men who mistreat women. I know that because on a personal level, we talk about that all the time. I was surprised she kept and on and on and on. But, and I completely agree with that. I think like in our own family structures, the problems that we are facing in the community, of course, include domestic violence. There's domestic violence, women towards men, towards women, towards children. And my passion is violence against children. That one is where, of course, I feel that we may be carried away when we are trying to discipline our children, sometimes hurt our children and affect their mental development. But this is home. America is home now for most of us. And I understand that we have interests back home. We do have interests back home because that's where we came from. But when we think about our children, and most of our children will probably never really ever go back to Africa to live there. We want to encourage them to remember where they came from, but this is home. So let's invest fully here. By fully, I mean, let's not forget that this is home for our children. And by saying let's invest here, let's have structures in place that will support our children and the children of their children in the future. Tusipotelee ndani ya, and that's why when we had the Black Lives Matter issue, when there was the Black Lives Matter campaign last month, I wanted all of us to participate in it because we are Black, whether we like it or not. When we look for jobs, we fill out that demographic, we say Black, African American Black, but we are still Black. So we need to participate in all these issues in our society that affect us as Black people, and of course, ultimately that affect us as Omugusi Mwanyagetinge.
So both of you, I hope we have back Neema. Both of you, what I hear you say, and you said so eloquently, by the way, thank you for doing that. What I hear you with the emotion, what I hear you saying, it is time that both men and women need to sit on the same table, remove the emotions, and then have a discussion about the issues that are affecting us. And if we do so, what I read from what you're saying, we have the potential. We can do big things. A community hall is nothing. We can do bigger things than what we're seeing here. So here's a question I've asked all the aspirants who've come on the show. And I want you to address this as well. Some of the blame that has been associated with Mwanyagetinge has been all these men who led the organization did a bad job. Okay? But honestly, I'm hoping after we end by the end of next week, we are not going to blame these men. This chapter should really be closed. They did everything possible to build the organization to where we are. We celebrate Mashuja, Heroes Day, Veterans Day. Don't you think it's time we, at the very least, appreciate the effort they did to build the organization to where it is? By appreciating, then we'll say, now these are great men. They've done their best as we transition this organization to the next generation so that they can sit in the Council of Elders, which also comprises women. Don't you think we should give them credit when it's due? Neema.
I think that these men who led Mwanyagetinge are the pillars. They have not failed. They have tried everything they could do. That's why we are here today. That's why we can talk as Mwanyagetinge. So I just want to honor you. You are men of honor. You did a great job. But I feel like, actually, as you said, we need to celebrate them. The moment we come to office, if God allows it, we need to celebrate them first and then continue with what we are doing. These men have done tremendous jobs. I just want to talk about the last president of Mwanyagetinge, Mr. Chui. Chui is a very passionate person, a young, passionate person who has the community at heart. But what Chui got from the community fell short of good. When Chui was going through everything that he was going through, we should have been out there to support Chui. He was alone. He's gone through these things alone. Where were we as Mwanyagetinge? We continue to blame him. Do we really have to blame him? What did we do? I just want to say, Chui, you are a great person, a great young person. You have a lot to offer in our community, and I know that you will achieve much more. Thank you for the example you have shown to young people. But I just want to, on behalf of our community, to apologize that when Chui was struggling, even in the midst of his troubles, he still wanted this organization to go ahead. We were not there for him. I don't know if we had a proper structure, if people would have remembered that Chui needed our shoulder to lean on. Thank you very much.
Edith, and thankfully, Chui is a friend, and by the way, we'll be having him on the show when he does his exit interview. Obviously, he will respond to that. Thank you, Edith. You know, not just to Chui. Obviously, when we put people in public, really, what we have also seen in the past is that one's pain is entertainment for another, which is pretty much what we have seen. And I think in the last week, you've also seen people have willingly decided to come to the forefront of leading the organization. We've gone even brought up personal attacks in the social media, insults left and right. Don't you think we should also change that culture?
Yeah, of course, the culture needs to change, but I will start by saying, like I said earlier on today when we started this this show, I haven't been with the Mwanyagetinge group for long, but I have a little bit of information on how it was started and the goals that was set, the vision that Mwanyagetinge had. I don't want to say that Mwanyagetinge failed, and I keep saying that. I feel like Mwanyagetinge's vision was just blurred there for a moment. And we are picking up with the energy that is coming in. So now we are looking at a bright future. And it will be for the incoming office holders to mess this up. In life, we have to build on what we have. And what we have does not always have to be perfect. So we must commend the people who came before us for actually starting Mwanyagetinge in the first place. And whatever might be considered as failure, that is what we are going to try to fix. And I know also from what the caretaker community survey, what result they got was a few pointers: financial transparency, membership engagement, which was lacking, leadership structure, who do you go to, and what else was that? I had it written down. Anyway, so we need to improve on the financial transparency. That is for sure, without a doubt. If I am going to invest my $20 in Mwanyagetinge, I am part of Mwanyagetinge. And what I have to say should be able to count. So the culture that you're saying needs, did you say culture needs to change or culture needs to be retained?
Change. I was talking about where somebody's pain is another person's entertainment. So like Neema was saying, we have our former president. Go ahead. Go ahead. She muted?
I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. So if I am my sister's keeper and I am my brother's keeper, I should not celebrate when my fellow brother or sister is in pain. And that's why Mwanyagetinge comes in. We want to come in to support our families, to support our well-being. And if we are going to do that, we cannot do that by bringing those who are down, or rather pushing those who are down deeper into the ground. We cannot afford to do that, because one person's pain today could be your pain tomorrow. Unfortunately, that is how society is. So the last that I have to say about this point is that we must be grateful for Mwanyagetinge, for the Mwanyagetinge group that has come before us, for those of us who joined recently. The vision was there. The agenda was there. Bring our people together. It may not have worked well, and that's why we are coming in right now, because we need to rejuvenate that. We need to bring in more ideas. We need to listen to our women. We need to listen to our youth. We need to listen to our men for the common purpose of becoming a better society. Thank you.
As we run towards the end of the show, Neema, of course, I hear you talking about unit, and I appreciate that. So here's a tech. So Mwanyagetinge, I came 20 years ago, and I think by the time I came in, Paul Moranda was president. And I recall those good days when we could go to New Brighton Hall and celebrate, and we would see some of our celebrated cases from across the country. I remember Professor Bagaka, Professor Otiso, Professor Onyango, or Professor Matunda coming here to inspire us, because we were people. There was a sense of hope then, and then over that 20 plus years, there's degeneration into different groups. Today, you will agree with me, we have a lot of groups within the community. And I have tremendous respect for these groups that have gone into constituencies, into different clans and those kind of things, which is okay. People are free to form their own associations. You're talking about the churches. We have pretty much, I don't know how many in Brooklyn Park area, we're almost 10 plus Kenyan and Kisi specific churches, right? And then we have different organizations. For example, we have AMWA. Right? They're doing a fantastic job, and I salute them. We have Tana, I think, with the Lina Nyamaya, and many, many other smaller groups within the community. What do you say to them? They will say, look, we're independent. We don't care about what Mwanyagetinge is. What do you say to them now that we're trying to say we need to be together? Neema.
Oh, thank you very much. I think our unity is what is going to help us accomplish great heights. Those people cannot be independent of us. They need us, and we need them. They cannot run a group without people. Then it will not even be a group. It will not even be an organization. People like AMWAG, what will they be doing if they don't have us? What will we do if they are not there? Because they have really gone out there to help our people who have been in dilemmas. So what I am trying to say is that we are part and parcel of each other. We have to support one another to be able to accomplish great things. You cannot be an island, as my sister said. Then you will not even be having an organization you are running. And I just want to give my respect to AMWAG, to give my respect to the group Lina, our sister Lina is leading. We are together in this. We'll support one another so that our people can get the necessary help that they need.
Thank you. On the same, Edith.
Again, just like Neema said, we are one people. We should never forget that. We are one people. And together we will go far. The saying as it goes, alone you'll probably go fast. But when you're together, you will go far. And there's another point I want to raise about our people in the community who are in businesses and who don't have much support from our community. And I know that we have this mindset because we have been told by Europeans that only white people are good in business. And half the time when I try to tell some of them, oh, we have realtors who are from Kenya. You want to buy a house, you could go to this, you could go to that. Like, mimi maneno wa Kenya staki. And I also know that our business, the business people in our community also need to do better, of course. You need to have better service. You need to be true to your business and offer business that is competing at the same level as any other business. That is that is the task. That task is on you. But at the same time, as a community, we can support our own. And I'm not saying that we should go for mediocre service, but we should be able to support our own. That is one of the things that is also lacking in our community. If you tell someone, oh, mtu fulani anauza hii nini, mimi maneno ya Wakenya staki. We are one people. We should not forget that. We are one people. If someone starts like a group home or someone is a lawyer in the community, seek their services. We have people who are smart, intelligent people in the community who are running businesses. We have lawyers, we have doctors, we have realtors, we have people with group homes. We need to support our own because we are one people, and we may have our differences, but our differences is what is supposed to make us stronger. Because if I bring my different opinion and another person brings their different opinion, then we compare notes, we contrast. That's how we come up with better solutions. I don't think we should be monolithic when I say we come together. I'm just saying let's come together so that we can bring our diverse ideas together to see how we can actually move forward. So, yeah, thank you.
Charles Masiba is standing by so that we go live with him shortly. But before I finish, the two of you, I want you to address an issue that I did ask Hulda Momanyi when she was on the show. And this is about the vulnerables. There's a group that we're not talking about, and I appreciate Professor Nyeriki Otoyota brought this idea up the other day. There are moms and dads who are in our basements, who literally are dying in isolation. It's a population that we should not really ignore. We also have a population of first-generation immigrants who are retiring and who are really moving into a sense of isolation. How should we treat our moms and dads who are in our basements and our first-generation immigrants who are also retiring? Neema.
Thank you for that question. I have a lot of respect for our elders. My mother lives here. She's in her 90s. We take care of her. We respect her. She's a woman of power who has also actually brought us almost single-handedly, because our father died when he was just 45. My mother was 45. So this lady was very, very young when my father died, but she took care of 10 of us, raised us, took us through school. A lot of us have our parents here, and I know that we are taking care of them. A lot of us are giving good care of them, despite the fact that, as Professor Okaria said, they are dying of loneliness down the basements. Here is where culture could play in if we had our own cultural center, so that our mothers and fathers can come together, talk about the old stuff, share tea together, share stories, and have certain activities they can do that can put some life to them. I don't know when this is going to be accomplished, but it's in my heart. It's something that I've always had a passion for. So I hope that if my mother doesn't get it, maybe I will get it. I'm hoping that the young leaders we are going to put in office, may it be Susan, may it be Hulda, they are going to play a major role in making sure that we have activities for our parents. These parents, look at what Corona has done for us. We are always saying, oh, nitaenda kuzikwa nyumbani. That's what our parents say. I have to be buried next to my husband. I have to be buried next to my ancestors. Corona has changed the direction of everything. Our mothers might end up being buried here. What are you gonna do if there's no plane going to Kenya? And in any case, why do we really take people back home to Kenya who have passed away, spending millions and millions of dollars that could actually help our children? Why? Are these bodies going to Kenya to create some kind of gold mine for who? Because you are here. Let's also encourage our parents who are here that it's not they might not really agree with us, but slowly they can get some education that it doesn't matter where you're buried. Muslims are buried any and everywhere. And wherever you fall, that's where you go. And in fact, that's how our culture was. All of a sudden, this culture again of saying, I can't think they could say it, I don't know where it came from. I can remember when we once had a discussion on Mwanyagetinge, I think people went into details, and they even said that people who went for war, First World War and Second World War, died and they were buried there. How come somebody didn't demanding to bring those bodies? The circumstances did not allow it. So where we get really buried is not important, and I hope someone will also come, because now this is our place, this is our home. I hope that we can put structures into place whereby we have even our own cemeteries, structures into place where we have, our own cultural things, so that when our parents rest, they can just rest here. They don't have to go to Kenya, because it's not going to make a difference. We take our parents to tunawatupa huko nyumbani in the name of putting them to lay with their ancestors. Our children will never go to see those graves. We will maybe be going once after 10 years. What's the need? I hope that we can get structures in place so that our old parents, our seniors, old is regarded not very appropriate. Senior is the right one, that our seniors can get, these structures can be put in place so that our seniors can be able to enjoy some life, twalenta nonyene abantu bakotere emeino bacha bara baterera abantu twalenta nonyene musicians babu gyoboka. No, my mother would just be so excited. She would have 10 years added into her life. So this is my vision. This is my vision, people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Neema. And I'm assuming Hulda, Mumanyi, Susan, you are listening, Jared, and myself. I hope you are listening to this, because we will hold you accountable. And again, as I said, whoever we are going to put in the office, this time round, we must support that person. We don't throw them in the office and start dumping that on them. We have to support them. I'm sure, Edith, you have an additional point on that.
Like I said, me and Mora kind of think the same. So just the point I was about to make. This is home. We need to invest here. And about our elderly population, community center has been, sold out there as an idea. And I think it's a great idea. Having our own graveyard, Yomugusi, not a bad idea. We can invest in that. Circle for the community, we can invest in that. These are not things that cannot be attained. These are things that can be attained, but for them to be achieved, people must come together. So we should not forget about like when I said childcare and elderly population, we have our elderly population. People came to the country because most of their kids are here. There's no reason to really go back home. So now for that reason, they have to, they miss home, but they're here. But if they die while they're here, and all these challenges that are going on right now with traveling, I don't see why we should not have our own cemetery, like Neema said, yeah. So community center, circle, graveyard, things we need to think about. And supporting our own in business, please. And business people, tigamangana yoko abantu mediocre service. Use the internet, it's 2020. Find out how you can succeed as a business person. And customer care, very important. So, yeah.
So before you make a closing statement, Neema, where do you see, given the energy we are seeing today, where do you see this organization in 5 years, 10 years' time?
I see this organization, depending on how the president that we are going to get picks it up, and we support them. In 5 years, we should have structures put in place. We should have our own community center. I'm hoping that probably the community center is one of the big things we are going to start from. We should already, by in 5 years, we should have all structures in place where our people come and enjoy and get entertained, where our people seek for help, as Sister Edith said. so that they don't get into trouble, and so they can get the necessary help. By the way, even when immigrants just come, sometimes they don't even know where to go for medical treatment. There are clinics which offer sliding scale. If we have pamphlets there that you can go for medical treatment here, that will cause the family to be stable. And as such, we will build the country. If we encourage one another, oh, so and so, Mrs. Marigi has a CNA business here versus going to community technical college, support her. That way, we get those pamphlets there of the different things that our own people can offer. And one thing I want to stress on is, like Edith said, don't give mediocre service. That's what fails us as Omogusi. That's what makes people say, oh, by the way, I used to Relito Mogusi and she did a very good job. So I want to encourage people. I had to go for our own. I know leaders in this, even in our society right now, Mwanyagetinge, who despise our own people, not because they cannot give service, but because we have this mentality, which cannot build us. Very shameful. We tear each other down. For example, group school ya Miss Marigi, why not? Why can't I take my vehicle to a Kenyan mechanic, Mona Fred or why not? Why can't you what panel beating or aspires? Eh? Amachaya naragedire to problems to weather. Let us be one person. Let's come together. Let's build one another. I know our people give very quality services. But what mediocre services, nimba manyete na ende na inumwe manyete. Like one who sold my daughter a vehicle amanyete nga ekwirende lianze ebunegete. Nenda akamenya komoneli at a very expensive price. You know yourself, and tigebi interview. Tigebi interview chinita bichimbe. Please let us build ourselves. Let's build Mogusi. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neema. So get ready for a closing statement. In 5 years, where do you see the organization, Edith?
Oh, in 5 years, with the momentum we have right now, oh, I see us flying, we are taking off. I see us going really far. I see a community that has access to resources, or at least that knows where to go, which is still a challenge. And I see our membership grow, because if we build a good name with the group that is coming in, we build a good name for us and we show what we can do together. The people who are still on the sidelines wondering, should I join, should I not, they will join us. And as we continue growing and we continue getting more and more diverse ideas on how we can grow as a community, we will go far. We will go far.
Thank you. So in Neema, in less than 1 minute, we need to make a closing statement here. In less than 1 minute, can you make a closing statement as we await for a statement from the Commission? Neema.
Thank you very much. I hope that we are going, as we venture into the new administration, we are going to continue being very passionate and supportive of our president that will come in without wavering back. I hope we are going to stay away from trouble, especially because we will inform our people on the what they need to do. We will stay away from trouble. We will stay away from jails. We will be healthy because we will get people to know where they are going for the necessary help that they need. I hope our people will get structures in place where they can be financially stable and informed. And lastly, I hope as Omogusi, we can keep away from old-fashioned culture that deters development. Culture ekomeka abantu bande down. Culture etabwati heshima. We need to put away that. We need to pull together so that we can build Mwanyagetinge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neema. Closing statement, 1 minute, Edith.
Okay, so to reintroduce myself, my name is Edith Kerubo. I'm running for as a board member for Mwanyagetinge, and of course also as a representative for Dakota County. Abantu baito ba Dakota County, Neema for a long time. We've not really been participating in most of Mwanyagetinge activities. We should not be left behind, and with if you join me, together we will bring change in Mwanyagetinge. And having said that, what I want to bring as a person is accountability, transparency in all our dealings. I am passionate about members being given the respect that they deserve for investing in a community like this, and I am going to make sure that no member is left behind, and no member is left in the dark, that whatever dealings we have as Mwanyagetinge moving forward will be public information. By public, I mean every member of Mwanyagetinge will have access to that information. Thank you very much, and I hope you vote for me.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. That marks the end of this absolutely fascinating conversation between the two of you ladies. Trust me, I think everybody will agree that what you did here is fantastic, and that's the direction that we as a community should be taking forward. Again, from my very end, personally, I want to thank you because I have tremendous respect for the two of you. What you do for the community is marvelous, and I believe with your support, whoever comes in the office, you pretty much are going to give your insights and help. And I'm assuming the presidential candidate, Hulda, again, I want to point Hulda, Susan, my seatbelt is coming up shortly, and while you're watching, please, 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 the agenda, we have to unite our people. We need to move forward. If you think this is not something for you, it's okay to drop and support whoever is ready to move forward, because this time we really mean business. So again, ladies, I want to thank you very kindly, and all the female watching this, please look, the ladies are here, they're ready to go. Join. And before we let the ladies go, we have a statement from the Electoral Commission.
Good morning. This is another status update of the elections that are happening next weekend on the 1st and the 2nd of August. So far, we have registered over 750 individuals as members of Mwanyagetinge. And hopefully, in the next few days, this will be clear, because that number might go down or go up depending on the way people registered, because I understand there are some who have registered twice or sent their registration twice because of technical issues. And also I have people having questions about the money sent to Cash App and when is that going to be updated. There was an update that just came out this morning, and another one will come out sometime in the middle of the day or by the end of the day today. We have some issues to deal with. Right now we are working on issues of emails and how you get the code to vote and who is registered and who is not, because we have two scenarios here. There are people who registered but haven't paid. There are people who paid but didn't register. And there are people who maybe their emails are not correct. In the next 2 days, that's Monday and Tuesday, we are working on to solve some of these issues and get ahead of them as we planned for the elections on Saturday. The first step is today we have a meeting with the aspirants happening at 4 p.m. today. Hopefully it will take about 2 hours, where we're going to go over the ground rules. We'll talk about the elections itself. We'll walk them through the system and how that is going to work. And on Wednesday, we are planning to have another meeting just to go through the register and who is registered and who is not, and what are the technical glitches or issues that we anticipate, so we can work together. And then there will be a last meeting probably on Friday just to iron out any other issues that were not taken care of. So, and I believe we should be ready to go on Saturday at 7 a.m. Remember, registration ends tonight at 11:59 p.m. So please take care of that, and let's move forward. Thank you so much, and I'll look forward to talking to you later.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much. So I think by now you quickly notice that the community has gone forward. We now have a TV, and we're taking advantage of the technology. This TV is being viewed worldwide now, and we're very determined to make sure that this becomes the premier TV for our immigrant community, not just the cases, but for the immigrant community, particularly here in North America. So once again, I want to thank the two ladies for coming on. Neema, thank you kindly. Edith, thank you for that insightful contribution that you did. So again, I want to thank those ones behind the crew. Charles Maisi by standing by for another interesting session. Please join us in a few minutes so that we can also continue the conversation. But for now, thank you, and see you in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more time here, we have another presidential candidate. This is Charles Maisi. Hey, Charles, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good. So we're live. So let's begin and continue the conversation from where the ladies. Yes, we can. Yes. So Charles, how are you doing?
Good.
Are you nervous?
A little bit. It's normal to be nervous, you know.
Oh, very good. So, hey, by the way, you look good. I like your tie and suit.
Sure.
So did you watch? Let's begin here. So did you have a chance to watch the ladies, and what do you think? How did they do?
No, I was busy bringing my notes.
Okay. So I think okay, very good. So let's get to this, Charles. Obviously, you did good, and I understand. Did you have a chance of watching the youngsters last week? And did you also have a chance to watch your two competitors, Ulde Momanyi and Jared Warrod? Did you watch those, and what was your takeaway from that?
Well, they had a very good debate, and I really liked it.
Okay. What specifically do you like?
Well, the way they were exchanging, everyone has his own ideas. Everyone presented the best of himself and herself.
Okay. So far, Charles, we have excitement in the community. People are really, really very excited about what's happening. Why do you think people are so excited now?
They want a new Mwanyagetinge. They want a new life. They want new leadership. They want really change.
Okay, very good. And within the next 40, 50 minutes, obviously, we want to have from your end what it really means to have a new change, a new leadership. That's pretty much what we're going to focus on in the next 40 or so minutes. So let's begin this conversation, Charles. I want to ask you very quickly here. Let's begin with what attracted you to this position, and what is your secret weapon that will turn around things in the organization?
I request for about 30 seconds, if you don't mind. For 30 seconds silence, I'm gonna remember my late father Gabriel Maisiba and my mother Marisera Maisiba, and all sorts of friends and families who have died from COVID-19, and those who are sick. And having said that, we have also to give respect to our God. So if you can allow me like 30 seconds, that would be fine.
Loud, sir.
Yeah, I'm ready. We can take off.
Okay, so thank you. Well, that's very creative, and I appreciate that. And I hope your mom and dad are watching from the skies, and are obviously very proud of you. And I think they will be with you, and obviously to your family. We share those moments with you. So, Charles, why are you running for this office? And the key point, especially, I want to see what distinguishes you from the other aspirants.
Number one, I'm running for the office because it is been declared vacant. Number two, I am an APO leader, and I don't wish to be in a community where I see things going wrong, where I see things repeated the way they were done 20 years, the way they were done 30 years. That spirit of the people is not there. The people are coming back, they want new change, and I feel I should offer that change. But then if the people say, I am not worried to offer the change. They can give the best person that chance. But then I'm standing here to ask them to give me the chance to do that. I've done that in different organizations, and I promise to do this in this organization.
You interesting introduction there. You notice that for 20 years things have been done and they haven't done the way probably it should be. That's understandable within any human society. You have things that works and sometimes they don't work. So having taken your time to analyze what's happening in our community, just like the same question I asked the ladies moments ago, what are some of the deep issues that you think our community is facing right now?
Number one, our community is scattered. Our community needs the hope to be restored. Our community needs action to be done. Don't tell them transparency, do it. Let them see it done. Our community yearns for the people-centered leadership. Listen to the people, work with the people, do everything you are doing with the people. Don't leave them behind. Work with them, seek their guidance, involve them in everything you are doing. Then we'll move together as a team. But if you leave them somewhere, and then I say, Charles, I can do this, I can do that. If I get to the office, I'll work with the leaders that I'll be given. I'll work with the people so that all of us can move together.
Can you Charles, can you explain a little bit what you mean by our people are scattered? What does that mean?
Our people needs to be brought together in a way that they can have the hope that they used to have in this group, such that they know if I put my interest there, I'll get what I need to get. Previously, people would ask for a balance sheet. It's never given out. This is something that should be there. It shouldn't be. People shouldn't ask for it. Our people need to be brought back together, and they should have that hope. They should have the restored spirit of transparency. They should be see things done, but not said.
Okay, so I hear you talk about what you think is happening within the organization or the structural aspects of the organization. I'm just curious, when you assess the community, what you call our people, what are some of the pertinent issues that our people are really facing right now?
Number one, our Mwanyagetinge community cannot be what it is if we don't value nuclear family. You can attest to me, we were brought up by parents who took us to school. I can tell my people three things that are very important in life. Three things that are very important in life. Number one, you pray. Number two, you work hard and be honest. Number three, you be disciplined in all that you are doing. And if you do all those three things, you have yourself going forward. And you know that, and we have come from a family where parents told us that you have to be disciplined. They have nurtured us to come in this country. Right now, as I'm seated here, behind me is some that I have tomatoes and stuff. I have a home here. And from the beginning, our people think that we are here and we are back home. No, they should know that we are here to live, and they should know that our children should be nurtured to the best they can do. Unless we do that, and then the future of Mwanyagetinge is not going to be there. The moment Charles is not there, the moment you are not there, Daktari, that is the end of it. We need to bring our children back, teach them like our parents did to us. I feel so pity because we are not doing enough to our children.
Very passionately, I think you just singled out one particular issue, and I think the ladies before you also highlighted that the aspect of a nuclear family. Obviously, the families are unique. It depends on individual families. Assuming you become president, obviously we wish you well. Can you be a little bit more specific on how you'll address this issue of family disintegration in the community?
Number one, we have parents with us, we have seniors with us. And all of us know that if we listen to people who have gone through experience, I don't need to do the same mistake when there's someone who's explaining to me that if you do this, you can avoid doing the same mistake that I did in my life. Obviously, you listened to your father, you listened to your mother, and that is why you are what you are today. We should give these people time to speak to us. Give our mothers time to speak to us. Give our fathers who are here to speak to us openly. And I can tell you today, there is no family like you said. Every family is unique, yes, but there's no family that can survive without forgiveness. There's no family that can survive without amicably solving its problems. This country has its own issues, but it works on well. It works on, we have to accept who we are, accept each and every one of us, and then we can move together as a nuclear family. And that is where Mwanyagetinge will come from. If we build that, then we move out and make a very nice community and a very good one.
So thank you. You're making me feel excited and very hopeful. I think the constitution is being interesting. To achieve this, obviously, there are many more other issues that the community faces, and that's understandable. Every community does that. So there is need for accountability and transparency in the organization, and obviously truthfulness. How will you make sure that within Mwanyagetinge there is accountability, there is transparency, and there is truthfulness?
I get it was. Can you pardon me once again for your question?
No problem. So I was saying that you talk very passionately about the issues affecting the community. That's understandable. But I'm saying once you become president, obviously wishing you well, how will you make sure that there is accountability, transparency, and truthfulness in the office?
I can tell you, and those people are watching me, or I know the world is watching me. I know all Mwanyagetinge are watching me, and I lead like three or four, five different organizations of where accountability is key. We see it done, not said. I lead one organization. I can tell you today, if we are issuing a check today, it doesn't take 48 hours. You get what you deserve. I can tell you today, in this country, when all of us expected the stimulus check, it had no question. It came to you. We had no question to say, oh, Charles, there are no stories. You know, some of these things we need to see them done, not said. And I can tell you today, unless I don't mind if I don't become a president, but I want to offer myself to give the best that I have. And I promise to give it all. But the point is, even the people, we should demand for good leadership. It doesn't matter if Charles is in office. If Charles is not performing, definitely someone else can be given a chance. That is not a question. That is not something that we should debate about. It is our life. It is our children. It's all that we are doing. And for your information, there is nothing you have in your life precious like your family. Our fathers told us that the only thing they had in us,
Okay. We kind of lost you somewhere there, Charles. Sorry about that technical hiccup. So good. So family,
yes.
family is what you're saying. So let's move further and continue this conversation. So far, you just had the video moments ago from the commissioner. He said they've registered roughly 800 people, and obviously there's excitement that more people are going to register. But as you know, within the state of Minnesota, we have plus 10,000 or 15,000 members of our community, but not necessarily members of the organization. So take us through how you will make sure that all these parties are attracted and they're brought into the organization. More specifically, how do we bring in more women and more young people?
I think I can say that, without, if you say, even in medicine, we consider women and children. You know, men come in because they are men, but then we consider women and children. In fact, when you talk about how do I bring in women and children, then that means there is no organization I'm leading. There are no, that is, if there are no women, there are no children, there is no people. Because even in medicine, we are told that women and children, priority one. And at the same time, in my leadership, those are the people you should give priority one. In this country, you know, if I'm driving my car, if I see someone driving a car, the weak people, they're the most respected. They shouldn't quite be questioned. And definitely our women, our children shouldn't be questioned. They should be there, and they should be feel that they are there. And like I said before, we need a people-centered leadership. You move with the people. You make the decisions with the people. I cannot say, Charles, I can do everything. No. I'll sit in that office with the people that I'll be given to lead. And the first thing I'll do in the office is to call all these people. We have a big spirit right now. Those people should come and sit down and tell me which way should we go. And then we can start there. Then when we make a move, they will be seeing the same thing they implicated, or the same thing they said should the direction we should move.
But Charles, before you bring these people on board, you have to talk about attracting people. That's important. An organization can exist only if, number one, you attract. That's key number one. And then there is number two, you got to talk about retaining whoever you've attracted. And then number three, you're talking about developing the people that you have an organization. So far, Mwanyagetinge as is, it's been able to attract, as of today, about 800 members. Attract. That means for that organization to continue, you have to maintain that number and grow it over a period of time. Here's the question. What will you do that is so unique that will attract these people? For example, Mwanyagetinge has been known for a long time, particularly heading people during Matanga. That's a reason for people to be attracted. Maybe you might have educational policy, maybe support businesses. What will you do that is so unique that will attract these populations?
Like I said, we have to start with the family, and family is key. If family is properly organized, then when we come to the community, we will be properly organized. By that I mean, number one, our people need to see restoration of hope and trust. The Bible says in Exodus that we should have leaders who are honest, leaders who are accountable with the people. Remember when Moses was leading the Israelites, he used to talk with them. He used to tell them what their next move is. They used to see those things done. Our community needs to see the things they want done to be seen done. Like today, you see people questioning, my name is not on the wall. They are seeing the response immediately. I shouldn't get to an office, and then it takes me weeks to respond to people. Why? Why should we take weeks to respond? Someone tells you, give us a balance sheet, you tell them it will come next month. Why? Like people are demanding that I want to see my name. I've just paid my $20. That is what we want, and that should be seen effected. What has been missing for many years back.
More specific, again, like from the previous discussion, we did acknowledge the contributions of the older generation or the past leadership. Can you talk specifically to the youth? Because clearly, I think you're a fairly young man. You know, you're my younger brother. And we have a large number of young, extremely brilliant young people within our community. Talk to me or to the community. I think you better talk to the community. Look through the camera and talk to the community, and particularly the young people. Why should they join Mwanyagetinge as an organization, especially under your administration?
I want to tell all youths, all men, all women, all children that we need to restore the spirit of good leadership, the spirit of transparency, and this that I'm talking about should be seen done. If we meet after the elections and we want to know how many people registered, how much was spent, that has to be seen that day. It shouldn't be a story that should be said that, oh, this didn't happen, this went this way. I want to tell the youth specifically. I said three things that are very important in any person's life. You be a prayerful person. Number two, work hard in everything you do. Number three, be disciplined. If I tell this to the youths and everybody who's listening to me, if you do the three things I said, and allow me to repeat once, be a prayerful person, respect God, listen to what God tells you, pray every day. Number two, work hard in anything you are doing and be honest to what you do and even to yourself. Number three, be disciplined. That will lead you to the next level, and obviously you will become a leader of tomorrow. And we need leaders. And I can tell you, Daktari, I mean, we had the past president of this country who left office, Mr. Obama. He's got his inheritance from Kenya. People are watching us. These people from Kenya, what are we doing? How should we do it? Charles should move from Mwanyagetinge to a different position. Now we should even think of having someone in a different office and can help our people. We should come together. Our togetherness would make us who we should be. If we say we are not coming together, then we'll perish, all of us will perish. I may say it can't affect me today, but tomorrow I'll have a problem. When I want the community, it is not together, and then I'll not get the help. So I'm telling our youths, work hard in whatever you do, pray to God, be a fearful person to God, and then the third thing, be disciplined, and all will fall in place.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Charles. So I'm going to take you through again. You are a man, and if all goes well, you become the next president of the organization. Before you, though, there are men who led the organization, and as you listen from previous conversations, what is your take? What you've read on social media and conversations, it seems that we tend to keep assigning blame on those ones who led the organization before, to a point where they're pretty much discouraged from participating in the organization. And you also listened to outgoing President Chui saying it was emotionally torturous and it had very bad effects on his personal life. So here's a question for you: what place will these former presidents play in your administration?
Uh, I want to tell you one thing. If I get to the office today, there will be a time I'll be leaving office. I'll expect someone coming behind me to have good relationship to me so that we can move together. For that, I can tell you, irrespective of what the people who are in office have done, we should respect them. Leadership is given by God. If I don't get to the office today, I'll team up with other people to help the community to grow. But the point is, any person who's leaving office, we have to respect them. If I get to the office, I know there will be a day I'll be leaving office. One thing that is paramount, and I can tell you that, we should respect anybody in an office, despite the fact that we differ on issues that accountability wasn't there and other things are there, but they are human beings and they have their own dignity. We should respect them, and there are many ways we can have them help us and do many other things.
Look straight to the camera because they're watching. They're watching. They've had these stories from a long time, and part of the reasons as why Chui will tell you why he had a problem in his leadership is because he didn't have enough support from these guys, and quite frankly, they still amass a lot of influence in the community. Now, look straight to the camera and talk to them. Tell them why they should be part of the conversation going forward.
I want to tell you, my dear leaders who are leaving office, if I get to office today or tomorrow by 1st and 2nd of August, you'll be respected. I'll want to have you on board. I want to have you on board to let me know. In fact, even the transition billion, I want you to hand over me the office. It should be an amicable transition. Some of these things we differ upon. Those are facts that we should differ upon. If I get to the office, I respect what people will tell me. But the point is, anybody who is on office, I'll come and respect you and ask for your advice whenever possible. Listen to you like I can listen to all members. And in fact, I respect you because you have led the organization to where it is now. You ran the organization to me. So I'll definitely respect you and respect everybody. And that is my passion. And I'll tell you, leaders, be encouraged. What you are doing is good. What everybody is doing is good. I can tell you there are people who are working 24 hours a day here. The media is doing a good job. There are people who are doing everything. The election committee is doing a wonderful job. And everybody is trying to do his and her part. And unless we come together as a team, that is when we will succeed. There's no need we can say that, we don't want the leaders, they did this and that. No, Charles will leave office at some time. I will want to be respected and I will want to be on board to help where I can. And we respect everyone's opinion. And that is my passion. And I can tell you, leaders, you've done whatever you have done, and that is your ability. My ability will be different. My weakness will be different from yours. We have to accept each other and move on together as a team.
Understand you correctly, Charles, you are saying once you assume office that, we have Mashuja Day, Heroes Day, right? Veterans Day. What I hear you say, under your administration, there will be a time when we celebrate those who have led the organization to where we are. Because quite frankly, when we write the historiography of the Abagusi here in the US, there are people who we must, with all due respect, really give due credit if we are going to move forward. Is that correct understanding, sir?
Very good. That is what I mean. Nobody should be led aside. The moment you start pointing fingers on leaders, that is the moment you kill the whole organization. Remember, if I talk ill about Chui and then Chui leaves office with the leadership, you live with some people with him, and that is not the leadership. I said from the beginning that we need a people-centered leadership where all of us move together as a team without exception of anybody else. I can tell you, Daktari, if I have my son, if you have your own children, not all children will be the same. But then that is your family. That is your family. You should respect it as it is. You cannot come and say, oh, that is not my son, even if he commits whatever crime he commits or whatever things he does. We have to respect the difference of opinion and come together and move on as a team.
Okay, so Charles, so I'm going to ask you a question. Thank you for that response. I want to ask you a question. The ladies before you did talk so passionately about why the women need to be involved. And they acknowledge the fact that women within our community have gone through emotional and psychological torture for a long time, but they still rallied the women to be part of the larger conversation. So I'm going to drift a little bit and focus on the men. The problem with the African men, and more specifically the Kisi men, we sometimes go through very difficult time, emotional torture, psychological torture, but we don't express this outrightly. And because of that, there are a lot of people who are going through mental illness, and we don't acknowledge this. Do you acknowledge the fact that a good number of the men within our community are going through emotional and psychological torture? And given the chance to lead the organization, will you address that issue and how?
Absolutely. Men always, I can tell you that when I want to tell my people that it's important to have life insurance. When I was getting life insurance, those people told me that definitely, my friend, you are at risk dying before your wife. So definitely we are risk animals, man. And in that case, like you put it, we take most of the things without even sharing them. We are not like women. If you ask my wife to tell you who you are, she can do. And she can tell you very nicely. But if you ask me, I may not. Let me give you one example. If you come to my house today with your wife, they'll go with her to the bedroom. They will see the bed. They will see everything. They will see everything that is good in my house. When you get back with her to your home, she will tell you, I don't want this. I don't want that. By the time you understand why she's telling you what she's telling you, if you ask her quietly and friendly, she will tell you, you know what? I saw a very nice bed in Charles's house, so we want a bed like that. And even the Bible tells us that give a woman a home. I mean, a house, you'll make it a home. If I come to your house today, if your wife is not nice, then that is not a home. It will never be friendly. Homes are made by women. You can attest to that. Go back home. Look at the way many homes have been brought up and have succeeded by the spirit of women. Women have stood firm and said, this is the way we go. That family will succeed. I am whom I am because of my wife. Behind any successful man, there should be my wife behind me, and I'm happy because of that. Sure, I am happy because of that. I wouldn't be who I am because if my wife wouldn't be there. When I ask my wife, where is my baby's shoes? At the same time, I ask her, I'm missing my socks. We can't do without those people. Do you know how many spoons you have in your house? You can't tell, but they know. They know what you need. So given time, let them speak out. And in fact, the last thing I want to respond about the men. If we have a meeting for men and have our ladies prepare the food and we sit down and speak, that will solve our problems a great deal. You can remember one time when your mother was there, when your father was not there in the morning when you woke up. By the time he was coming back, when you asked him, he could tell you, we have a problem. I want to so and so to ask. And he wanted to know out of the experience of the person, he wanted to seek advice, and he is back home with the solution. We have to do that. We have to share among us. And like we are social animals. We are not like these people. We have to come together. But one thing I'm gonna tell my people: COVID is real. Let's respect the Minister of Health is rules so that we can save our people. And for sure, I can tell you, most of our people work in the healthcare sector. I'm a frontliner healthcare worker. My wife is, we should respect and follow that. And unless we do that, and even back home, I'm telling our people to follow the rules from the Minister of Health and strictly follow them, because we don't know when this guy coronavirus is going away. Otherwise, we have to learn to stay with it until a vaccine is found.
I hear you say thank you for that passionate appeal. So what I hear you say, consistent to what the others are saying, is that yes, women need to be successful. We need to support them. That's good because it's for the collective good of our society. But you're also acknowledging that men do go difficult. There is a say, to contrary to what you just said, that behind any successive woman there is a disappointed man. So what I hear you say, you're refuting that aspect. You're saying it is reasonable for both of us, men and female, to work together, build families, and build our community. Is that correct understanding?
I can remind you when you misbehaved at home one time. I remember I can tell you your mother had to hold your head and your father could go on you caning. It is definite. We have to work together. And let me tell families like this, men and women in this country. And for sure, I can tell you this. Unless we come together as parents and stick together, these children are going to be, they are the number. If you are in the kitchen, they will be talking about you in the dining room. If you are in the dining room, they will be in the bedroom saying, dad is there, mom is there. Unless we come together as dad and mom, these guys are outsmarting us. And like I said before, the only precious thing we have, it is our family and our children, and that is what we should. I can tell you that as much as we can give 1,000,000 times, look at the children, my friend. Look at the children. I shouldn't want my son to suffer because of our difference. I mean, the difference between me and my wife. I mean, after all, we came together and my son came out. Yeah? We should respect the children at whatever means. Come night, come sunshine, come rain, whatever it is. I can tell you, my brothers and sisters, respect our children. Our mothers did the same. Kwani hii vita amukuiona baba yetu akipigana na mama? Amukuona hii maneno? Simuliona? Sibado walibaki pale pale. I mean, we cannot say we didn't see this. We saw this, but then they stick it together, and that is a fact. I mean, hapa sio mbinguni. Ningesema kwamba hapa sio mbinguni. Pamoja na kwamba kuna shida hapa, tukubali tuishi na hizo shida, tuambiane pole, tukubaliane na tuende mbele.
Very good, Charles. Here is a question for you now. You said you've led a couple of organizations, correct? What are some of the transferable skills that you're bringing in from the organizations that you led?
And like I said from the beginning, there is nothing that makes me succeed like transparency. When we have a meeting, number one thing is the balance sheet. It should show if the members demand, they want to see the activities of the bank, we give it to them. That is the only thing that can make people trust you. Trust is a small thing, but when it goes away, my friend, it will never come back. It will never come back. Right now, like that, if I tell you that you don't trust Charles Maisiba, I mean, like right now when I declared my presidential bid, I mean, you could be seeing people saying, Charles, you messed up so and so, you did this and that. I can tell you from my college, I was a vice president in Tanzania, and I know those people are watching me. I did the best I could, and the college succeeded. We had the best things in that facility. And then I came to this country. I have led an organization for 2 terms, 2 consecutive terms. And I can tell you today, because I know the members are watching me, we're heading somewhere. And you will see one time, you will see us going to that direction. If Mwanyagetinge give me a chance to be in office, that is fine. If they don't give me a chance to be in office, I'll tell my people, let's come together as usual and then move on. And I promise you to show you one time, and I can attest here on this TV, when we shall have done what we intend to do to our people.
For our viewers, which organizations did you lead here?
I can tell you it's a coincidence. My name is Charles Luanga Maisiba. I'm leading an organization that has a name, St. Charles Luanga Community. I am the chairperson for 2 terms. I am the vice treasurer in Nyaribari United Organization. Nyaribari is an organization with over 200 people. St. Charles Luanga has over 200 people, and it's transitioning very quickly. We started with 70 people, but now we have at least 200 people, and we only do our registration twice a year. If we open it, there will be everybody in, but then we do it twice a year so that we can manage people coming in well. I am the organizing secretary, Borabu Moja organization, and I guess you must be a member of Borabu. You know that. At the same time, I am the chairperson of Kemini. We have Kenya and Minnesota organization. It's a small organization that we are building up. It's also coming up. Also, I'm the chair of that, and I'm happy to do that. And like I said, it doesn't matter whether Charles is in office or whoever is in office, but let's give our people what they deserve. Our mothers are watching. Our brothers are watching. Everybody's watching on us.
And Charles Luanga, and the other one is about benevolence. Is that correct?
Yes.
Question. I'm going to lead you into this, and so that we get into the neat details of some of the issues that we affect the community. And I understand this topic might be a bit problematic for some, but some of these issues have to be addressed. Now, within our community, it's become a culture, and with all due respect, we have a lot of organizations. Most of these organizations are pretty much about benevolent, matanga, which is a good thing. We need really, whenever our time comes, we all hope, including myself, I hope to be given a decent send-off. But there appears to be a very much investment. We seem to be investing a lot on matanga, benevolent, but at the same time, as we speak, there are many international students, even right here within the Twin Cities, who have no home, who have no food. There are many members of our communities who are in hospital, right, who we don't go check on, we can't help them, but we are preparing for their death, right? We have a lot of people going through mental illness, right? We're not talking about that. We talked moments ago, there are mothers and fathers who are in our basements who are dying because of loneliness and isolation. But we seem to be focusing on their end days, matanga, matanga, matanga. Under your administration, how will you change that energy from a focus on matanga to welfare of the very people that we're hoping to say goodbye to?
I don't want to spill the beans on public here. I have a group I'm leading, and we are planning many things. But I want to tell you one thing, Dr. Ali. And all our members are watching can attest to me. Let me take your flashback back to Kenya. Your brothers, your mother, my father, my mother, and many mothers have died on their way from Kisii to Tenwek Hospital. I worked in Kenya for some time. Our parents and many of our relatives will be dying on their way from Kisii, from Nyamira, headed to Tenwek or to other hospitals outside of our county. In fact, we can even have this light shaded at home. We can talk with religious leaders. We can talk with many people and come together as a team. We are in a country that a country with the honey and milk. We can change these things. What I told you, that if we restore the hope, if we restore the transparency and it's seen done, then you can move people slowly to other things. But number one, they need to trust you with what they believe. If they trust you with what they believe, then you can slowly open another page and tell them, we can open this page and start doing some stuff on it. That one, they'll trust you. But for even a sake, nobody, I can agree with you with whatever you're saying about benevolence and other things. But remember, like I said, let us restore the hope of our people. Let them see the trust done. Let them see the transparency done. Then when the transparency will be done in the benevolence, then you open a new page and tell them, we can do something small, slightly different. And then they can reason and, okay, they can say, let's try that. Some may say, no, I may not want to do that. But if you have 3/4 of the members, then you are good to go.
Because you lead a benevolent organization, and there are different viewpoints within the community, okay? And this is a very sensitive subject that we really need to address. Now, there's been a culture within our community, a heavy focus on matanga, and again, I say, with all due respect, today there are people who register in several organizations. When one of their loved ones passes on, the question is not who died and what happened, but the question is the amount of check they're going to receive. I've seen situations where people receive up to 90, 100,000 after somebody has died. Pretty much it's become like the matanga thing has become a part of a business, a culture that might be of concern to some. And I'll give you an example. A friend of mine went through a very interesting example the other day. So a family member passed on in Kenya. He has good friends here. He raised 17,000 and there was a WhatsApp group. So in that WhatsApp group, the first 50 people paid 200, 150, 250, right? So total 17,000. Translate that to Kenyan money, which was about 1.7 million. The parents were well off, so the village in Kenya did everything to send that off. When my friend went to Kenya, right, it caused a lot of problems because one of his friends from the village just forwarded that WhatsApp message to the people in the village, and everybody knew that gentleman had met 1.7 million. And so he's having problem with the family in Kenya because he made 1.7 million in Kenya's money out of the father's passing. Don't you think, under administration, it's time we rethink how we approach this issue of matanga, and particularly how much money we contribute and how we dispose that in public?
One thing I can tell you is that okay, if I become a leader, people can choose what they want to do. I can't force them to do what they shouldn't do. But then I'll have to advise them. I told you one thing that this is, I want to let our people know that this is our home. When this is our home, it's very good to do things at home, but then we should know that this is our home, so that all our things are based here, and know that we should move on here. The issue of people having different groups and different organizations, it's because that trust that was started decades, you said in Mwanyagetinge, the unique start disintegrated. They could not see anything fruitful from that organization. They didn't see any light. That is why I'm saying we should change. If Charles will be in the office of Mwanyagetinge, things should be changed totally. We should by now we should be having a community center. I don't know why. With our population and with our children, why do we miss to have that? I mean, we can't sit down and write a simple proposal and have grants and other things, and then we can even pooling our resources together. Let me tell you, the money you are saying of Matanga, if all of us Mwanyagetinge pay $100 today to one kitty, will buy that community will be bought today. I'm sitting today in my house. I bought it by myself. The house is over 300,000. A single person, Charles, myself, together with my wife. What do you think if we come together and each of us give $100? But then they only give that $100 if they trust you. I told you, trust is a small thing. But once it goes away, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, you can talk, and nothing will be affected.
Very good, Charles. So, okay, thank you. So let's stick to your. By the way, I appreciate one thing. I appreciate. Let's take. I appreciate the passion. I appreciate the passion. I hope this passion continues into your administration if you win, and I appreciate that. I hope that the community also park this kind of passion. Let's talk about some other aspects. So you're a member and lead a number of organizations within the community. We need to focus on those. Each of these organizations, pretty much, they have their missions and visions. So they will claim they're independent, right? Once you become president, one of the problems you're going to have is really trying to bring these organizations together. So whether we have a number of organizations, for example, there is Mkida. They will tell you, look, we don't need you. We're an independent entity. We have Tana, led by my cousin Lina Yamaya. They'll tell you, you know what, thank you, but we have an organization, we're on our own. Amwak, they'll tell you, no, look, sir, sorry, we appreciate what you're doing, but we're independent. And then we have all these groups based on different constituents. They'll tell you, thank you, Mr. President, you sound nice, you're energetic, but we don't need you. What will you do to convince them so that they come within the umbrella of Mwanyagetinge?
I said this one earlier along. If I get to office, what we are missing is a people-centered leadership. If I get to the office tomorrow, those people that will be elected together with me, it's not Charles who will be doing things. We'll sit with that committee and plan. The first thing we do, we'll call all those people and we'll sit with them, listen to them, implement what they say. If from Kida they say, we think this should be done this way, we should listen to them. Some of them have got very good experiences. Some of them are even senior than I am. Like Amwag, they do a good job. Like many other organizations, they do, benevolent organizations, they do a very good job. There is a group in here, I don't want to say its name, that is led by Kisses, a large people, 900 members. Sit with those people, sit with those leaders, bring them on board, listen to them, listen to what they say, implement with those people slowly, move with them, don't move alone. Don't move alone. Move with them. If you move with them, they will not have a question to ask you. Someone asked me a question. Charles, you are a leader of many organizations here outside. How can you join all these things and put them together? I can tell you today, those organizations, because there is order and there is a rule of law and everything is done as it's supposed to be said, and they know that, they don't have a question. Because they know if this should be done that way, we have a meeting of 1 hour, things are done the way they say, they see them affected, there's no problem about it. So the only thing we need, the people should see what they want done and done there. You will not have any resistance. How will you have a resistance from Kida if you listen to them? How will you have a resistance from many other organizations if you listen to what they say and then move together as a team? Because all of them, in fact, are members of Mwanyagetinge. So if you listen to them and bring all of them together, I have one big issue that I am thinking, and very seriously, it's a big challenge to anybody who get to that office, identifying the constituencies of Mwanyagetinge. identifying the groups that will bring these people together. That is a big challenge. It gives me a sleepless night. How would I make these people come together such that when I call them, I can be able to reach them very quickly? That is one thing we need to do. Identify all organizations that we have here. Bring all those leaders on board. Listen to them. They are leaders. They serve people, and they have done big things. We should have them on board and ask them how do they do their things. We should use them, in fact, to help us move on. And then if we don't do that, then we are moving nowhere. Because we'll be fighting among ourselves for nothing. Amwagi does a very good job. You saw what they did during the COVID-19.
Okay. Then, Charles, good point. On the same note, let's expand the thinking. So you're talking about groups within the community. Thank you very much with your passion again. But let's talk about outside the community. There are many organizations that outside of the community that we might need to partner with so that we move our agenda forward. How are you going to incorporate, or are you going to incorporate some other external partnerships, or are you not? If so, which ones are you thinking?
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what. Like I said, for us to move forward, we need to see what are, I told you from the beginning, there was a time you didn't find your father at home one morning. He went out to find things. We should also sit down and look at other communities. What are they doing? How have they succeeded? What can we do to make our community succeed like they have done? We can always borrow a leave. Definitely, we should do that. I mean, even yourself, there was a time you saw someone from the US and you started dreaming about it. And here you are.
Okay, good. So, Charles, second last question here. I want to talk about spirituality. I know I go to the same church with you, obviously, and you are a very religious person. You mentioned that. We also need to recognize that. And a few days ago, you saw on our show, we had a very interesting debate or discussion with a number of good pastors from our country. So tell me, how will religion play a role in your administration, and how will your spirituality help you lead the organization, knowing that within our community we have different denominations and number of churches who still are very influential and who might help or not help your agendas?
Let me tell you, when I started this show, I told you, let's give God the first respect for 30 seconds. That is definite. If you don't do that, I have always said, and I can repeat maybe for the last time, be a prayerful person. Be a prayerful person. Be hardworking and honest, and then be disciplined. Now, without even let me tell you right now, even the most difficult people with their spiritual leaders present, you will not see them, messing up. If today you tell me that is Father Lois coming and said, Charles, stop there, I don't have a question about it, because I have a lot of respect to the richest readers. In fact, absolutely, these are the people who make people wed. They tie you together and you start life. These are people who baptize you. I mean, I can ask you, you have never given, you are offering to God. Do you have given anything to God? You give it to people here who represent God. Someone baptized you to your name. Someone to solemnize your wedding. You mean there is nothing you can do without the religious leaders? Absolutely nothing. In fact, I can tell you, without even prayer in that meeting, forget it. You can't succeed. I mean, you can attest that to me. All of us know that without prayer, in fact, hata kama tukigombana kwa nyumba, baada ya maombi, the spirit comes and we come together. Without it, I don't even need to go to that office. I tell you, I don't need to go to that office because I can do nothing. I can do nothing for sure. And I can tell all leaders, any person who get to that office, without the religious leaders, my friend, forget it. There's nothing you can do. Hata kama kutatokea issue, if you have the spiritual leaders standing, that is when you see people coming down and you will see them saying, oh, we can reason now.
To the end here, but before I do so, I want you to look straight to the camera and say something to your competitors.
I want to say one thing to my competitors here. I respect your ideas. I respect you guys. I know it comes with a lot of challenge to throw your hat to this organization to be a leader. It comes with a lot of challenges. But I want to tell you, all of you, irrespective of those who are, contesting any position, that please, if you get to the office, deliver to the people. If you get to the office, do the right thing. I mean, we are seeing a new spirit coming. Let's see the new spirit after August 2nd. Let's see the new spirit in our people coming together doing things. Don't get to the office and in a few days, you have no people. You are just alone. Like I said, please, please be a leader who's people-centered, who listens to people, who moves together with the people, and then we'll succeed. Above all, let's respect our God, and our God will give us a leader. And lastly, I may say, let's follow the rules from the Ministry of Health, because most of our people are working in the healthcare sector, so that we can be safe, our children can be safe, so that we can be health people. With health, we can proceed. And may God bless you, and may God give you the knowledge and wisdom we deserve to have the best leader in Mwanyagetinge come August 1st and 2nd, when the people decide who goes to the office.
So, Charles, is it correct understanding that you are saying if the people decide to elect you, you are hoping that your competitors will immediately give you full support? And you are saying, should they not support you? They like you, yes, but should they not, for whatever reason, you are saying you will support whoever wins, correct?
I didn't get the full question. No? I got part of it. I was at some point. Please come up once again.
Are you making a commitment that you will support whoever wins the elections and you will fully support that person?
100%. That is the will of the people. And I can tell you today, people get the leaders they deserve. If they deserve Charles, they will elect Charles. If they don't deserve Charles, they will elect Charles. I can tell you today, and I can tell everybody who's listening, choices have consequences. Make a choice, but be ready with the consequences of the choice.
Under your administration, Charles, where do you see the organization in the next 5 years?
We'll be playing soccer with you in some field somewhere. And I'll make sure I score your team. And the children will be cheering.
That's where you see 5 years, that's where the organization will be?
Yeah, we'll be having the children on board. We'll have a Swahili school. We'll have people trying to find out who we are and what we are doing that has made us succeed to where we are.
Okay. So, Charles, thank you much. So, I'm going to ask you this question that I've asked all those ones who've come in. So, I did ask all the same question I asked Jared Mzawaro yesterday. I'm going to ask you the same question. I know what I mean. It's one thing to talk. It's one thing to talk so passionately about this, and I think you need to make a call to all those ones who've been in that office before. It's one thing to campaign. The moment you win, it's okay. The people who are cheering you probably walk away and they start really expecting results. So here's a question. Have you prepared yourself mentally and psychologically for the challenge? I know you have a young and very beautiful family. Are you mentally and psychologically prepared to take yourself through this process? And at the same time, is your family prepared for the same?
I want to tell you that when I decided to go in, I cannot do anything without my wife's consent. Tomorrow, if I win elections, so my wife tells me, Charles, you can't work in that office. I can't do that. That is the end of it. Because when I come to Mwanyagetinge, where do I go? If my wife says no, I have to listen to that. So by all means, I have to listen to what she says. I can tell you today, openly, and all members should listen. If I be the leader of Mwanyagetinge, my wife comes and says, I don't want you in this position. I have said no. That is the end of it. Because you know what? I mean, you can't succeed without someone behind you. Nikitoka huko nani anipigie ugali? Nitakula nini nikirudi? Nitaomba nani anipe socks? Come on, that can't happen. I mean, if she's not there, then definitely I openly tell people that. Come on, that can't work. If she says no.
so we'll need your wife to be on the show so that we are sure you are ready for this. So, but I appreciate that. So, on a lighter note, Charles, before you make your closing statement, that's a very nice suit and tie. Where did you buy that so that all the men can buy that, including myself?
These ones are everywhere and they are so cheap. And that is why I'm saying all men should come on board so that we can also dress smart and beautiful. There's nothing we are lacking in this country. It's only to have time, dress smart, go out with our beautiful ladies, dance and make fun. That is all we need to do. I am 40 now. I have nothing to lose. I need to go out with my family and, have the life. life begins at 40, and I have the money, I have everything, I've gone to school. Like I said, everything I own it to my family, nothing else.
Very good. So, Charles, we're heading to the end here. Now, look straight to the camera. They're going to take me off the camera. Make your closing statement, please.
I want to tell you, my brothers and sisters who want to get into the office, pray that God can give us the wisdom. If we get to the office, it doesn't matter who, so that we serve the people with the passion that we are seeing right now. I want to tell all members of Mwanyagetinge, please, it doesn't matter who gets to the office, demand for the best leadership. Let's rise up and say, if Charles gets to the office and doesn't perform, let's say no. Why? We don't need to be shy. We don't need to be shy because Charles is in office. Tell Charles, if you're not worthy in the office, come out. Someone else can take the mantle. And I mean, that is the phobia we're creating. Some people, we have many people here who can do the best job, but then they have that fear. We are going to remove that fear and do the right job. Like I said, be a prayerful person, do your work hard in whatever you do, be honest, and lastly, be disciplined. Everything will be possible. May God bless you, and may God bless everybody who's watching me, and let's follow the rules for the Ministry of Health. Ili na sisi tuwe na afya njema, tusaidie familia zetu, na Mungu awabariki wote. God bless you all.
All right, thank you. I think that marks the end of our 2 hours discussion. Charles, thank you so very much for coming on. By the way, I appreciate the passion you brought in. Thank you for all you do with the community. I appreciate your family for giving, especially your wife, giving you permission to be on, and whatever she bought. So that's great. So thank you, and obviously we wish you nothing but the very best on your campaign trail. And for the rest of the viewers, thank you so much for tuning on. I will continue this conversation tomorrow night when we have Susan Mambera at 7:30 Central Time tomorrow. Ben and company were working tirelessly behind the scene here. Thank you for doing this. We're looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. But in the meantime, be sure to register. Be sure to register because a new horizon is arising in our community. Something really, really good is happening. So let's make sure that we are part of the conversation. But for now, thank you so very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.